you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, and but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2, 3 years, 4. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Canelo, but they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table.
Y'all act like, oh, he ain't got no power. If he don't knock out Bud, he's going to lose. What makes you say that? Well, he's been winning by decision without knocking out people. He's had the higher fight IQ than everybody he's fought.
Canelo Alvarez drops a shocking statement by admitting that if he loses to Terence Crawford, he might step away from boxing. He explains that everything must end at some point, and he is already preparing for that reality. Canelo reveals he wants to enjoy his final years inside the ring while also planning to focus on family and other goals once his fighting career finally comes to a close.
Retirement on anyone or speak about retirement when they're not ready, but has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can't be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's meant
a long time.
a lot of years. So, but we'll see.
You're the face of boxing, and you've been professional for 20 years. Does the fear of kind of walking away ever weigh on you, because boxing is so your identity? Yeah. Does the thought of walking away and losing that part of yourself make you want to stay in the game for longer?
No, I think boxing give me so much, and you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2, 3 years, 4. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Canelo Alvarez has openly suggested that the fight against Terence Crawford could mark the final chapter of his legendary career. Throughout his recent interviews, he has dropped subtle hints that his time in boxing is nearing its end. This sense of closure is not surprising, as Canelo has fought at the highest level for years, collecting world titles across multiple weight classes and defeating some of the toughest names of his era. The possible retirement adds weight to his clash with Crawford, as fans are now looking at it not only as another super fight, but potentially as Canelo's last stand in the ring.
Boxing Doctor News, hold on to your gloves. Fight fans, Canelo Alvarez is gearing up for a blockbuster bout against Terence Crawford this September. The undisputed super middleweight champ is making history as the first ever 2-time undisputed king at 168. But here's the real knockout. Canelo's hinting at hanging up his gloves soon. He's giving himself just 3 more years in the ring, aiming to retire at 37. Why? Because he wants to leave on his own terms, not when boxing tells him to. And get this, he's not doing it for money or legacy. It's all about the love of the sport. But before he calls it quits, we might see him face off against David Benavidez or even Jake Paul. Who do you think Canelo should fight next? Drop your predictions in the comments.
Canelo Alvarez has admitted that he is considering stepping away from the sport by the end of the year. He has explained that he has already achieved everything he set out to do in boxing, including becoming a multi-division champion and establishing himself as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. With his accomplishment secured, Canelo has expressed his desire to focus on family life and personal happiness. This statement has fueled speculation that regardless of the outcome against Terence Crawford, his days as an active fighter may already be numbered.
Well, it looks like it's the end of an era. Canelo Alvarez spoke about his retirement plans and has confirmed that the end is near and that his time inside the ring is coming to an end relatively soon. Canelo Alvarez said that he is now in the stage wherein he's also thinking a lot about how he wants to focus as well as enjoy the fruits of his labor, not just for himself but for his family as well. The Mexican fighter who made his professional boxing debut at the age of 15 years old and has been professionally fighting for almost 20 years now said the following, and I quote, "From the age of 28 to 29, this is the age where I have felt best. I've always said that at 37 years old is a good age to enjoy what I have done with my family, other things in my career, and that's what I say. But I said I would debut at 18 and I did."
During a lively debate, Simon Jordan, Pauli Malignaggi, and Roy Jones Jr. praised Canelo Alvarez as a dominant force in his natural weight class. They emphasized that Canelo's power, experience, and size make him a legend at super middleweight, where he has reigned supreme. The panel discussed how the difference in natural weight could play a decisive role in the outcome against Terence Crawford, who is moving up to face him. While Crawford's skill and adaptability are respected, the consensus among these analysts is that Canelo's advantages in strength and durability make him a uniquely challenging opponent for any fighter stepping into his division.
It's interesting because I think that the only dynamic that makes this fight competitive, in my opinion, is the difference in weight class. I think Canelo has been, for a while, a diminishing fighter. Call it age, call it whatever other things you want to call it. But I just think that, the only reason he's even still around at this level is because he's avoided his top contenders in his weight class, so he's been able to still remain champion at that weight class. And now, being champion at that weight class, it has sort of brought up this big opportunity to fight a smaller, excellent world champion in Terence Crawford. So I think when it comes to the levels of boxing, just straight from boxing perspective, I think Crawford is head and shoulders above Canelo. But, they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table. I think Crawford can win the fight. I just wonder whether he can get a decision. That's always the question with Canelo, right? Can Canelo get a decision? I mean, can Crawford get a decision over Canelo? Can anybody get a decision over Canelo? We know Bivol did, but Bivol essentially won a 10-2, 11-1 fight, and they barely gave it to him.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Here, Spencer.
So that's
Paulie, there's a lot made of, jumping up 2 weight divisions. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard do it against Marvin Hagler, and the greats can actually do that, can't they? And when you see them head-to-head, actually, Terence Crawford, he's filled out very, very well. And you're right, if it comes down to just weight divisions, because I think that Terence Crawford is head and shoulders above, as does Simon as well when it comes to boxing IQ and ring craft. But I go, when you look at it, and we're all talking about the weight division, that could be the factor. I don't see it being a factor.
Boxing analysts have been vocal in questioning the reasoning behind choosing Terence Crawford to defeat Canelo Alvarez. They argue that much of this belief stems from Canelo's past loss to Floyd Mayweather, a fight that took place when Canelo was still young and far from his prime. Experts stress that this single defeat is often misunderstood by fans who use it as a point to undermine Canelo's greatness. In reality, losing to Mayweather is not a blemish on a career, but rather an experience shared by many who dared to step into the ring with him. Mayweather retired with an undefeated record of 50-0, and he is celebrated as the greatest defensive boxer in history. Facing such a master of the craft so early in his career provided Canelo with lessons that have shaped him into the fighter he is today. Analysts emphasize that since then, Canelo has improved dramatically, refining his defense, sharpening his counterpunching, and growing into a more versatile and dangerous competitor. The conclusion drawn by many experts is clear: underestimating Canelo because of his loss to Mayweather is misguided. Instead, that fight highlights his growth and resilience, proving why he stands as one of boxing's most complete champions today.
Where the fuck did all of this Bud hype come from? Where every video I'm watching on this internet, everybody is saying that Bud is going to smoke Canelo. Look, I get it. When he was saying, I'm going to stomp a mud hole, when he's like told Canelo, I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass. Bud ain't stomping shit. He ain't stomping a mud hole in shit. He may think he's going to do it. It's okay that he thinks that. It's okay that that is his intentions. But everybody online is believing this shit. Like you forgot, like Canelo's a fucking punk. And let me tell you something. Can we be honest here? Canelo was one of the most gangster motherfuckers in boxing, bro. Bro, this is the same Canelo who had a fight and was in negotiation with some motherfucking gangsters that kidnapped his brother at the time. And then went in there and beat the guy with your negotiation ransoms to get your brother released from some motherfucking mobsters. Yeah, see, y'all ain't learned. Like I said, like when Caleb Plant, he's used to smacking people and getting away with it and punking people. You see what happened when he tried to do that shit to Canelo, right? I bet you Bud won't do that to Canelo. You see when he tried to punk Canelo, you saw what Canelo did, right? When he tried to step Canelo and try to walk Canelo backwards. You see who put hands on who. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all act like Canelo's some kind of pussy who's going to get stomped on. And y'all think that a guy, y'all forget. Let's play Roy Jones' You Must Have Forgot song. Like, y'all forgetting all the titles that Canelo has won. You're forgetting other divisions he has moved up on. And motherfucker not being dropped, knocked down by none of these way bigger guys.
Timothy Bradley Jr. has faced criticism from fellow analysts for boldly claiming that Terence Crawford will beat and even dominate Canelo Alvarez. Critics argue that Bradley's prediction is unrealistic given the physical disparities between the fighters. Canelo has gone toe-to-toe with Gennady Golovkin 3 times, proving his strength and resilience against one of the hardest punchers in the sport. In contrast, Crawford has never fought at this weight before, and the leap in size and power could be too much to handle. Those opposing Bradley's view believe that recognizing these realities is essential, as size and experience at higher weight classes cannot be dismissed.
By the way, I'm redoing an apartment, had a move out, and that's why it's so hollow. My voice is so hollow. But here's the reality. Terence Crawford is so, first of all, you're comparing Terence Crawford, dog in the fight, as big as the dog, whatever Mark Twain said, right? To a movie. You're comparing it to landing on the moon. We've never landed on the moon, man. If we've landed, the one thing I know about men, if it feels good, we do it twice. If it feels great, we do it for a lifetime, right? You got 5 kids, right? I'm gonna just leave it there, right, Mr. Bradley? But the reality is, Crawford is too small. Crawford is too arrogant. Crawford doesn't have an intelligent ego, and that's gonna be his downfall. Yeah, Crawford's probably gonna look better. Canelo's gonna throw wide the first 4 rounds. Yeah, he gonna get hit with a stiff jab every now and again, and people gonna get excited. But the reality is, when you go back, because you referenced Golovkin, when you go back and reference Golovkin, right? That was one of the cleanest, hardest shots of that year. And Canelo just brushed it off. And here's the biggest difference between Floyd and he's the most skilled. Floyd feinted for you to throw and miss. Crawford feints to land a punch. So what does that mean, Timothy Bradley? So you're not telling the whole details. When a person feints to punch, that means their feet are planted. So what does that lead to? You got 2 flat-footed fighters standing in front of each other. And once Canelo figures that out, see, what y'all not understanding is Crawford got to land 100 punches. Canelo only got to land 20.
The voice of experience has added weight to the ongoing debate as Ray Robinson, who once defeated Terence Crawford in the amateurs, shared his perspective on the upcoming clash. Robinson reminded the boxing community that Crawford, despite his undeniable skill and accomplishments, has shown vulnerability when stepping up against naturally bigger opponents. He stressed that while Crawford's adaptability is impressive, size and strength remain significant factors in elite-level matchups. Adding to the discussion, Jaron Boots Ennis, one of boxing's brightest young talents, offered high praise for Canelo Alvarez's dedication in training camp. Ennis observed that Canelo is pushing himself with remarkable discipline, refining every aspect of his craft rather than relying solely on his natural advantages. He pointed out that Canelo's work ethic sets him apart as he is determined to silence any doubts about his readiness. Together, these viewpoints create a powerful narrative. Robinson's reminder of past struggles, combined with Ennis's acknowledgement of Canelo's relentless preparation, suggests that Alvarez is approaching the fight with unmatched focus.
Much about Lima? What do you think?
I don't, but Boots is, I know he's young, but that guy, he trains so hard. I don't care if he's in there with someone that's 100 and 0 or 0 and 100. Like, Boots train extremely hard for each fight that he has. So that's so hard to teach a fighter, that's like Boots and so young and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know much about, the guys, but Boots, listen, man, Boots going to train extremely hard and do what he do best and put it on for the city.
Yeah. And then there's obviously talk about him fighting Virgil in Virgil Ortiz in January or February. You like that fight?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to be honest, and it's not because I'm from Philly, but I pick Boots over all these guys, man. Boots is just, like I said, man, Boots is just cut from a different cloth. I just think Boots got it all. He's a total package fighter. His, how smart he is in there. his skill level, you know, the way he see things and stuff like that, and Boots this type of fighter. If he gets you hurt, he gonna get you out of there. So he got the killer instinct. So yeah, definitely, you know, I'm a ride with Boots all day long.
Mm. And just on his dad and trainer, Bozy Ennis, obviously he trained you.
Yeah,
Do you think he's a bit underrated as a coach? I mean, look at
I
his
do, man. I
positioning.
mean, yeah, 100%, man. I think, I mean, you gotta think about it, man. He raised champions. You know, you got Boots brothers. You know, they all won belts. You know, Bozy is a insane trainer, man. They all so smart and they all fight so many different ways. So yeah, man, I think, you know, Bozy. I mean, all them guys deserve more credit than what they get. You know what I mean? But you got someone behind the computer talking.
Popular commentator Showbiz the Adult has pointed out that Terence Crawford currently appears to be in the best physical shape of his career. According to him, Crawford's conditioning, strength, and overall athletic build are at their absolute peak as he moves toward the fight with Canelo. This perspective emphasizes that while Canelo may have the natural size advantage, Crawford is maximizing every ounce of his physical potential. Showbiz's view adds intrigue to the matchup since Crawford's peak form could allow him to deliver a performance that challenges even a fighter as established as Canelo Alvarez.
I'm this close. I never seen him in that kind of shape. And what's contributing to that is the fact that he can get in shape without worrying about drastic weight cutting. So this is peak Crawford. And I've been saying this forever. It's the reason why Canelo Alvarez is so effective at 168. You fight better when you are your most healthy. Crawford has never felt so comfortable. He has never felt so good. I'm this damn close. The only thing that's stopping me is every time I switched up at the end, I got it wrong. I did it with Errol Spence. I had Terence Bud Crawford for a damn year. Switched up at the very end during the media workout, got it wrong. I'm still paying for that to this day. I switched up, I cannot believe, I switched up at the end, Bivol Canelo. I had Bivol for many years. I said if they fought, I got Bivol over Canelo. And at the very end, I switched. I said, you know what? Canelo's too great. His resume is better than Bivol. I got Canelo.
As training camps continue, the difference in preparation between the two fighters is evident. Reports suggest that Canelo Alvarez is focusing heavily on refining his skills rather than making drastic changes to his routine. Being naturally comfortable at super middleweight, Canelo is able to sharpen his existing strengths while maintaining peak condition. On the other hand, Terence Crawford and his trainer must work harder to prepare for the demands of a higher weight class. The added pressure on Crawford's team highlights the uphill challenge they face in matching Canelo's natural advantages while still finding ways to capitalize on Crawford's speed and technical brilliance.
The advantage as far as coaching, you know, I think Canelo has got by with his natural talent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you look at the William Skull fight, you know, he was talking, I think, the Netflix or the Ring, talking about it's very difficult when somebody run. It's your job to watch film and see, you know, how to stop William Skull. You know, and one thing about Canelo Alvarez, you know, he don't like to engage until he traps you on the ropes. That's one thing I did when the film study broke down. He's very lazy. He don't like to jab to get you in position. One thing Canelo like to do is to move forward, you know, move his head off the line to put you in position, to put you on the ropes. And he feel like he gets you on the ropes in the corner, then he may throw a jab or throw a hook. And then when he feel like, you tired of moving, then he'll run combinations. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like, you know, like when you got Canelo in the center of the ring, he ain't really trying to make shit shake, especially in the beginning of the fight. He ain't trying to jab with you. He just really trying to stalk you and, you know, get off and put you in. His whole thing is to put you in position with your back against the ropes. And then, you know, Canelo Alvarez, he wants to attack. That's his game. Then he wants to attack.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next.